Alright, it is time to jump back into the Final Fantasy Pixel Remaster series. We finished Final Fantasy 3 not too long ago, and then we took a little sidetrack to play a little bit of Mega Man, but we're going to come back in. And we got Final Fantasy 4, 5, and 6, so we've got all of the beefier games ahead of us. Although this first one, if it takes as long as it did the first time I played, it actually shouldn't be too bad. But yeah, let's just go ahead and update. Huh, okay. I guess we'll download the update. I would have expected all of my Final Fantasy games to have already been updated, but okay. I don't know what they're fixing. Can't imagine it's anything major. I know that there was patches for all of the Final Fantasy Pixel remasters recently, but I thought I updated them all. And all the stuff that they were fixing was like minor bug fixes. Well, all right, let's jump into Final Fantasy IV. Final Fantasy IV is a favorite among quite a lot of people in the series. I myself, I enjoy it. It's not one of my favorites. In fact, I feel like generally the Final Fantasy games, as you go through, get better and better with each installment. So I really don't like 4 as much as I like 5 or 6. Um, and I will say, I I mean, 1 and 3 are not too far behind 4, but this is a great game. Don't get me wrong. It is the first of the series to have like a really epic feel to it with the story and the constantly rotating cast of characters, but it also isn't like it's not as shallow as Final Fantasy 2. So, yeah, I think we're all set to go. Let's just go ahead and start a new game. We will have to set the classic filter on as soon as we get off this spot. I thought I had the filter on. Oh well. The classic opening, piloting the red, or captain of the Red Wings, Cecil Harvey. Dark Knight Cecil. I did always think it was really cool that you get to start the game as like a Dark Knight, because like just the Dark Knight class is such a cool class, and usually you're waiting till like later in the game to use such a character. But no, you just literally get the dude at the beginning of the game. Granted, you don't get to keep him, but we're gonna commit war crimes and atrocities. We do get our main character already regretting his prior actions at the start of the game. I apologize if my voice sounds a little funky. I've had a cold for like a week straight. And usually my immune system used to be a lot stronger. I used to like get over colds really quickly. But ever since I went to my local grocery store last Thursday, I caught a cold, and I'm feeling okay now, but I still have a little bit of like nasal congestion. Uh, so my throat's also a tiny little bit sore, so my voice might be a little weak on this. So apologize for that, but we're gonna push ahead anyway. Got our first game in the series with the ATB system, so that's really cool. Unfortunately, this whole sequence is automated and I have no control over any of it. Damnation. And we have arrived at our first destination for the game. I do like how faithful the music recreations are. Like, you really... even though they changed the instrumentation, they, you know, made it a little more orchestral, and depending on the game, they, like, try to flavor the instrumentation to that game, give it its own little vibe. It's still got, like, all of the major beats, the major melody is still fully intact. Sometimes when a game gets remixes of music, you don't get the same feel from the soundtrack, but I wouldn't say that's really an issue with these games. Time to hand over the water crystal. Oh boy. And now we're being forced to go on a mission that we didn't want to go on. Now we're being pushed out. We even get a Dragoon Comrade this early in the game. I think that's probably one of the reasons why a lot of people like this game, is that you get to use, like, these, like, really cool, iconic classes from, like, usually stuff that you would acquire late in the game, and you just get to have it, like, super early. Alright, gotta have our classic filter. That looks nice. Let's go ahead and change our default speed to run. Let's do... I don't remember if I put cursor memory on or not last game. Battle speed, we'll do fast. Not very fast. I think if I put it too fast, then it'll be a little too hard to keep up with. Encounters on, EXP and Gil will boost to 2 times as per our usual, and then tweak as needed. Oh, that looks so nice. That little bit of blending fuzz. You get a little bit of backstory if you actually talk to the characters, which that much I'll respect. Like, if you talk to everybody in these games, you get a little bit more of a lore dump. Even though we're kind of being punished, we do get some goodies. I'm gonna try and look around here before we don't have a chance to, since once we leave Baron and try to go to Mist, we will eventually be blocked off because of the story event, so... Got some white mages and black mages in their classic looks here. It's always cool. We can't go that way, at least. We'll have to return here later for that. Can't go in there. I like when classic RPGs would, like, do that, though, where, like, they have this, like, clear spot where you can get some treasure chests, and then you can, like, learn about how opening treasure chests, you know, works and how important it is to the game. Because, like, nowadays, you'll have these, like, tutorials where they'll be like, oh, you should, you know, open those treasure chests over there. And it's like, you don't need to tell people to do that. Just put them there. And then people will be like, ooh, what's that? And then they'll, like, interact with it. And then they'll learn, oh, I can get cool stuff from these. Like, let the player learn. So I like when, like, classic RPGs do that, where, like, they purposely design it to kind of just wean you in. It's just like how we were talking about Mega Man, where, like, in the Mega Man games, they'll, like, show you something in a safe setting that will become an obstacle later in an unsafe setting, and then you have to actually, like, learn how to manage it and iterate on that. So, like, I don't know, I just like that old-fashioned kind of design. There's not quite enough of that anymore. Alright. We got Sid. This cool guy here. I think my one major complaint with this version of the game, outside of the typical, like, Final Fantasy Pixel Remaster complaint that I have, which is the only real major complaint I have, and that's just the lack of content from later releases, is that this version, since it takes after the original SNES version, even though the characters will be rotating around a lot, there's no way to change your party members around. So we only get the characters that we're given. It's very much like Final Fantasy II in that regard. Which means that we can't, like, swap our party in and out as we wish, like you can in the Game Boy Advance version and the PSP version later on in the game. And there's a lot of characters. Like, I'm trying to think. There's, like, God, there's Cecil. There's... Sorry I'm talking over this, but, like, I've played through this section, like, so many times, and I think a lot of people here have, that might be watching this have. Like, it's a good section. You got Cecil, and he's, like, he's really jumbled up in his feelings, because, like, he thought he was doing the right thing and standing up for, you know, his kingdom, and, you know, helping people out and stuff like that. And, like, he's learning that his king is kind of an asshole, and he's going on missions that are hurting people. So, like, he's questioning what he should even be doing with his life, what his purpose should be. And he's got, you know, his close friends from before the story of the game, you know, kind of, like, talking to him and, like, trying to like, you know, get into his head a little bit. But to go back to what I was talking about, like, you have a lot of characters. Like, you have Cecil, you have Rosa, you have Kane. We're gonna get Palom and Porom at one point. That's 5 already. There's Rydia, that's 6. There's Sid and Yang, that's 8. There's not Shadow. There's Edge and Fusoya, that makes 10. And I think that there might be another character or two I'm missing, too. Oh, Edward. So that's 11. There's a lot of characters in this game. Unfortunately, you do not get to keep all of them. The only one that stays throughout the entire game is Cecil, and then there's a couple other characters who are... oh yeah, and Tella. He's really temporary, more than anybody else, but that's 12. It would almost be an ensemble cast if the story weren't focused mostly and almost entirely around Cecil. Final Fantasy VI does the whole ensemble cast thing, and like they shift focal characters, and there's still like 14 characters, and like 11 or 12 of those are characters that have major story points for them. So I don't know if I like the cast of this game or Final Fantasy VI more though. Like as an overall, like there's characters in this game I think I would say I definitely like more than some of the characters of Final Fantasy VI, but I don't know. There's something about the cast of Final Fantasy VI that really sticks out. Like the cast of Final Fantasy IV really feels like a sculpted selection of characters who are all capable in their own ways, and they're all assigned to work together because they have um they have all of these things that make them important in a team setting. But Final Fantasy VI is like a ragtag bunch of misfits, and like that's kind of like how I got into my friend group way back in like high school, and I just feel like there's like something that is just something that like really speaks to me because of that. So I don't know. And so the Dark Knight Cecil was stripped of his command as captain of the Red Wings. He and the Master Dragoon Kane head for the Foggy Valley and the Village of Mist. The advent of the airship marked the realization of Baron's dreams, but also the birth of its militarism. With its Royal Air Force, the Red Wings, Baron soon reigned supreme. Now, as monsters multiply and stir unrest, Baron only exploits its power to collect the world's crystals. Gee, I wonder why. Why? Why indeed? The crystals merely shed their light in silence. Got the classic Final Fantasy theme playing in the background. All right, we got Kane and Cecil. This game's a little weird. So for some reason, this game and Final Fantasy VIII do this thing where like the character in the middle is technically like the focal character. I'm just gonna leave it as is. Oh yeah, Kane's left-handed. Alright, let's go ahead and save. I have a save file with 14 hours so far. My characters are already in the 80s. In the 70s and 80s. It's crazy. Yeah. Yeah, that save is when I beat the game. That save is when I went back to like do a little bit of extra stuff. So we'll save over file 2. The encounter rate has thankfully been vastly improved. Nice. Just trying to get a feel for the enemies in the area. Floating eyeball. They don't even call them Aramon like they usually do. Oh, that's right. We got a chocobo forest here. Oh, cool. Forgot you can get your stats restored. Oh, it's only for MP, which I do not have. We actually already get access to a chocobo. I don't need it, though. I don't want it. Just thought that was kind of cool. Oh boy, so this auto battle, unfortunately, does not tell you what your characters are going to do during the auto battle, because it has to take up that spot for the ATB gauge. Alright. Ambush. This is also a game that uniquely allows us to have 5 characters at once, so that is going to be very interesting once we start capping off our party and they're rotating people around. We have our first dungeon. Got your usual normal-ass dudes. Turn back. I am enjoying how much faster paced the game fights are in this version, because infamously, Final Fantasy IV, being the first game to have the ATB system, has a really bad time having just slow waiting between turns. Especially if you're playing the PS1 release, my god. That was my first exposure to this game, too. And, like, I managed to chug through it, but it was not perfect. Not by any means. I definitely need to heal. I probably should have stopped by the... Actually, I think I need to go stop by the town. Because I totally forgot to actually go to the town, because there is a town area. Well, let me just grab that, and then I'm going to turn around and go back. I'll try and use just regular attacks to fight through everybody. We're kind of low on health, but I'm not sure if we'll need the, all that HP. We'll see. I'm definitely talking to myself mostly on the live stream, but if there's any VOD viewers, howdly doodly, thanks for tuning in. Probably gonna end up with another level up before we make it back. Yeah, so let's go ahead and go into the town. We've got the town of Baron. We already have a decent amount of money since we were doing some grinding. I think it'd help to buy a bunch of potions. Hents are nice and cheap in this game, so it's always good to have. Always got to have some status ailment healing. I generally buy a couple of everything. Whether it's Pokemon or Final Fantasy, I will generally try and make sure we're stocked up on healing items. Dragon Quest is a little weird. I don't know why, but like when I play Dragon Quest, like I'll have stuff to heal, but I generally don't go out of my way to buy anything. Mostly because if I'm going to heal, I need to go back to a town anyway, and then the town is where you save most of the time. So if I want to save, I have to go back to town. So I don't feel as much of a need to do that. So naming way. We can change our name here. I'm not going to do that, though. As I've said before, any games where there are defined characters, we will leave their names as they are. And if they are just generic characters, then we will name them after us. But I think this is the start of all of the games having defined characters, so we will probably never name anybody anything else ever again. She just tossed a dress off and started dancing around. Okay. Forgot that was a thing. I remember her dancing. I did not remember the tossing the dress off part. Sup, Al? We're playing some Final Fantasy IV now. Just starting off. Did a little bit of grinding. Got ourselves some gear. Basically ready to go take on the Mist Cave. Was spending a lot of time talking earlier about the cast of characters for this game being really massive for its time. Not too far behind Final Fantasy VI is, although we don't get to keep our characters. They get swapped around a bunch. I think right now we'll be okay with keeping the chat on the bottom. But I'll probably move it once we start getting to a point in the game where we're constantly having like 4 and 5 characters. Right now it's not too super important because it's not obscuring anything. But we might need to switch it once the game actually expands more. I am willing to double dip. I kind of hope that modders get really excited about modding these games to a point where like they're adding back content in some form of the Game Boy Advance versions. It's kind of tough because like some of it does require they basically have to like kind of reinvent it for this version. How are the cats? They're chilling. Sneezy's asleep next to me, curled up in a ball. The other one, you know, he's probably asleep in the other room. He hasn't really come out and made a ruckus yet, so Got some sleepy cats. To be fair, it is also earlier in the day. Usually I stream around noontime or 1 p.m., so like they're usually up by then. Alright, I want to go get this chest. Got another tent. Hopefully my voice can carry me through this entire stream. I mentioned it earlier, but my voice is kind of messed up. My nasal passage is kind of also messed up. I've been sick for like a week. I'm coming out of it right now, but I still haven't fully recovered. So there's that. So I did not notice this until it was pointed out on the Final Fantasy subreddit. I did not realize that Final Fantasy 4, 5, 6, and 7, all of them do a thing where the first boss of the game has a trick to it where like there's periods. It's like to like get people acclimated to the ATB gauge system. So like there's periods where you can't attack them at all, and then there's periods where they are able to be attacked. And I didn't realize that. It totally like went right over my head. Oh. I will use a potion. And just defend. Very easy first boss. But yeah, all 4 of those games in quick succession in order to teach about the ATB gauge system. You've got the Mist Dragon, separates into mist, so you can't attack it then. I can't remember the first boss of Final Fantasy. Final Fantasy 6 uses that snail guy that like retreats into his shell. I can't remember Final Fantasy 5's, and then Final Fantasy 7 is obviously the infamous Guard Scorpion because they like didn't properly translate the messages, so like it has like the tail go up, and then if you attack it, it does like a massive counter attack. Oh no! I really hope that it turns back from its mist form before he does his jump. Nope. And now it's going to counterattack with Cold Mist. Doesn't do a whole lot because we are a little over leveled, and it's also supposed to be the first boss, so it's not going to do much, but... I hope it turns back. Damn it. I was hoping Kane's jump would be a little slower. There we go. Mist Dragon is beaten. Well, we just killed Rydia's mom. That is a spoiler, by the way. But yeah. Unfortunately, we just killed Miss Dragon, and that means that Cecil just allowed the king of Baron to burn down a whole village. So that's cool. What an asshole. Kane's like, you have to kill their families. Bad idea, Kane. I can't blame Rydia for not wanting to go with them. I will say I like that they did this little scene with the Titan, because, like, in other versions of this game, they didn't, like, have, like, um, the fiery background. They just had, like, the normal, like, grassy background. Like, you really get a feel like this area is fucked now. And now we're in the middle of the woods, and Kane is gone. Just pick up the girl like an item and walk off. Let's make our way over to this little town. It's Kaipo. And here's where Cecil gets to prove that he is trying to protect her. Because they're like, we're coming after you. And Cecil's like, no. Then you shall die. We'll see about that. Yeah, little bitch. Run away. Excuse me. Now Rydia's on our team. Yay, Rydia! Rydia is only level 1 and has, like, no HP, but we can manage. Because she can summon a chocobo. That is all she can do right now. Lady, move! Thank you. Okay. I don't remember having new stuff worth buying. No, I guess she could have a staff. Nice, got an ether. Rose is here. Unfortunately, she is sick, and in order to cure it, we gotta go get a jewel that is guarded by an antlion. No thanks, I think we already watched enough girls taking their clothes off and dancing. Alright, we've saved. Guess we'll just go into this cave. Underground waterway, south entrance. Gotta keep Rydia in the back row so she doesn't take a bunch of damage. Once she starts leveling up, she'll be able to get fire and blizzard and thunder magic and stuff like that, so... Just gotta get her some experience. There she is. Blizzard and thunder. Oh, that's right. She doesn't get fire yet because she is afraid of fire because we made her afraid of fire. So she will get over that later on. But now we have honestly a decent amount of magic to work with. I just got to use a tent so she'll have MP. I do like that though. Like she has like a growth to her, which is why she's like one of my favorite characters in this game. And since Rydia has thunder, it's just in time for a dungeon that thunder will come in handy for. Okay, cool. It's Tella. Tella seems cool when you first get him, but he quickly becomes really fucking bad. Like, he never gains any MP, so he can never cast the Meteor, which is it's like a story integration, because he's gonna kill himself when he eventually gets to cast it. But he does have so much magic at first. And at first, his 90 MP is quite a bit. So, like, he's pretty cool. He's a cool crutch character. I like what they did with him, but yeah, he's really, really weak after a certain point. And he's gonna, like, quickly get access to, like, Fire Blizzard, Thundara, and, like, other spells, too. That little thing in the back just has Kiraja this early in the game. Okay, dude. Iridia's just learning a ton of spells. Give Tella one of those. Gonna have to give Rydia an ether. Or maybe we can reach the room with the tent first. Pretty sure that there's a room where there's like a circle where you can save and use a tent. Yeah, no, I think I'm just gonna have to pop the ether. Rydia is already a level 10. Okay, yeah, because that spot's all the way over there. I want to get the treasure chest that's all the way up top first. Of course, like 2 steps away. That's alright. If this was like one of the previous games, I would have had like 3 or 4 encounters on the way over here. They increased the scope of the game a little bit, like the dungeons are a little bigger, but the wow, the encounter rates are lower. So almost the same amount of time to get through them. The auto battle takes a second to really actually like start going in this game. I'm assuming because it's got to account for the ATB system and there being 5 characters, possibly. Oh yeah, you can use Tella's recall to recall magic he doesn't have access to. And he can get some really powerful stuff that way, but like it tends to take longer to actually do. And you also don't get to control it. And he can also just cast spells that he already has, apparently. That was a waste. I like how they have to like condense it, and then when they're doing this, it's like, oh, we can actually just like expand this spot. And that Bard and Damsian we will meet not too far in the future. Cool guy Tella. Alright, let's go ahead and save. Got an ice rod. In we go. Oop. Gotta make sure we grab our treasure chests down here. Gigantode. I feel like that one Gigantode on the far left is like slightly further away from the other ones, which is ooh, that gets to me. Oh! That's what that does. Interesting. That's kind of cool. I didn't know that you could get drops for summons for Rydia. That's kind of cool. I went through so much of Final Fantasy. Like, when I played through Final Fantasy IV, I basically spent the entire game. Oh, why did I use Darkness? That doesn't really work on zombies, last I remember. Like, I didn't really use the summons. I mostly just used her as a black and white mage hybrid. Oh, that's not gonna do it. Yeah, that did almost nothing. But at least it killed some guys. So yeah, I totally forgot that Rydia can like learn summons that are dropped by random enemies. He already has access to quite a bit. Oh, that's Tella. He has Cura, but not Cure. That's interesting. Alright, let's see if we can outpace these guys healing. They're really tough to kill. We got one of them. Red Moose. I probably pronounced that wrong. It's probably some, like, other weird-ass name. Wow, Darkness did not work. Okay, that's right. The slime-like enemies in this game are generally weak to the element that's, like, matched to the color they actually are. Depends on the game. Sometimes it's, like, an opposite element. Hourglass Shadow Blade. That is a new sword for Cecil. He does have several swords as a Dark Knight. Oh no, they turned Tella into a toad! And then they cured his toad! Oh boy. Let's go ahead and pop a tent just like Tella suggested. Oh yeah, that's right. We just gotta go down the waterfall. Whee! Don't try this at home. You're now at the subterranean lake. What's in here? Hades armor. That is dark armor. Is the Hermes shoes just an in-battle item this time? Yeah. Gross. Whoa, we managed to kill him this time. Alright, let me go back in the other room real quick. Okay, yeah, I figured I would skip something. Why do these alligators have such good magic defense? Makes no sense. Hades helm and Hades gloves. Yeah, they're going to be really generous with the Dark Knight equipment because he's not going to be a Dark Knight for long. Oh, that's right. We got to fight the Kraken first. Damn, the crocodile... The alligators have a lot of HP. At least for this point in the game. Like, how much HP do they have? 175. Oh, we can get the tiny mages here. If they drop a silver armlet, that'd be really cool. What room did they spawn in? Hold on. Yeah, I'm spoiling the plot of this iconic 35-year-old game. My bad. I want to know which room the tiny mages spawn in. Because I want to get a silver armlet for Rydia before we keep going. I know she's not going to be around for too much longer. But it'd be cool. It's like all the other guys, they're not dropping anything important. Well, let me just walk around here real quick. Unfortunately, my browser is really slow. Oh my god, there's so many zombies. And Cecil can't do anything to these zombies either. I'm just gonna keep going. Rydia already has access to stop magic. And as he loses HP, he's gonna lose his tentacles. Go, Chocobo, go! They definitely tried to make the bosses a whole lot more dynamic in this game versus the past few games, and I gotta say I respect it. And he is down. Definitely need another tent after that one. This game, difficulty-wise, is much closer to the original SNES version, and by that I mean not our international version, which toned the difficulty down a lot, like the Japanese release. So the bosses in this game, and this game in general, will be quite hard. I have a cat that wants attention now. Sneezy's here. Sneezy, say hi to chat. Oh boy, it's the Red Wings. Wow, assholes. Ah, poor Dempsey and Castle. A bunch of these guys are just dead. And that was Anna, so she's killed. And now Tella's gonna go beat up Edward. You spoony bard! I love how they just left that in every re-release because they were like, people love it. Keep it in. I'm surprised Tella doesn't just cast magic on him. And it turns out Anna's fine. She's not dead. At least not yet. Now she's dead. This game does not pull punches. And Tella thinks he can actually fight Golbez on his own. Okay. Okay, Edward. Just Cecil just comes over and just fucking bitch slaps him. Oh boy, we got Edward. Edward has a unique mechanic where he is a coward and he will not fight if he is in critical HP. He will hide like a bitch, and yeah, that's him. Anna blinked away, so now you know that she's dead. The typical classic Final Fantasy way of showing that someone's dead. Sounds like a good party member. I don't know about that part. I'm gonna give Rydia the ring because she deserves it. He can have the Bard's tunic because he is a Bard. It would be weird to give her a Bard's tunic, but she gets to have his cool stuff. Landon and Pixel would agree. They're also trolls, so of course they would agree. Alright, we gotta go back in the castle, though. We're not ready yet. Got a number of treasure chests to go find. Oh, we can't go up that way. Damn it. Can I even access the treasure chests now? Hold on. I might be blocked for now from being able to... Oh, wait, hold on. Okay, yep. And we gotta go, like, stick to the wall. This poor guy's dead. Oh, we got another ruby ring and a feathered cap. Well, okay, I guess you can have yours back. Cool. We got all the items we could ever want out of here. Now we're ready to go. Not that way. We can't go up there. That is locked off until we can get Rydia to cast fire. Unfortunately, she is not up for the task yet. Let's do a little grinding here. I don't want to go in the cave yet. Oh, there's our tiny mage. You can also manually have Edward hide if you want. Alright, no silver armlet drop. But since we are near the tiny mages, I do want to stick around and see if we can get a silver armlet. We can probably buy them later in the game, but I'd rather get them now if we can. Oh. He died a lot easier than I thought he would have. That was a whole ass sandworm. Edward has free healing, too. So, that's cool. I need the tiny mage. Bring back the tiny mage! How does the alligator have more HP than a sandworm? Because the alligator would have survived that. The alligator would have survived one round. Bring tiny mage hashtag. Yes. Bring tiny mage. Give us the tiny mage. Unless the sandworm was from earlier in the game, it must have been an encounter that could happen like right where Baron is, and they just like ported it over to this area, so it's like super weak by comparison. Oh my god, look at all the goblins. The Song of Silence does nothing to goblins that don't use magic. But Edward gets a sing command, and like the sing is tied to whatever, or the song is tied to whatever his weapon currently equipped is. So based on whichever harp he's got, he'll be able to do like some weird crazy stuff. I think the Lamia harp is in this game, and it like lets you turn everything to stone or some stupid crap like that. It's kind of funny. God damn, there's so many sandworms. We cannot find the tiny mage. I want the tiny mage. Oh, these guys are all gonna die. Yeah, they all have like 8 HP each. No tiny mages for us, yeah. They are supposed to be like a rarer encounter because they have oh, there's 2 tiny mages. They have a habit of doing some absolutely insane shit if they don't die, because they can like counter both physical attacks and magic depending on what you do. They can counter to either paralyze you or drain your MP. And there goes Edward. I'm trying to like carefully whittle away because I don't want to kill them by accident. Or I don't want to, like, not kill them and then they, like, do, like, a bunch of stupid stuff. Rather, like, just kill them in one hit. Oh, I didn't kill him. No! Nope, no silver armlet. Alright, I'll try and get one more tiny mage encounter. You know, 3's the charm. We had 2 encounters, no silver armlet. If we get a 3rd encounter and they still don't give us the armlet, we're just gonna keep going. We'll just have to continue on without it. But let's see if we can get another encounter with these guys first. Cecil needs 2 XP to level up. Love to see it. I just shooed Sneezy away from the corner of the bed because she was like clawing at the corner of the bed from being off of it. And when I shoot her away, now she's just jumped up to the... And now she's like walking around on my lap. I think she's protesting. She's like, I can't live under these conditions. Based Sneezy. She's misbehaving. Goblin. Okay, we got the tiny mage encounter. I don't know why I'm wasting a chocobo on a goblin. But, I guess we're here. Yeah, let's hope. Oh, they have a ton of defense. When it comes to magic, anyway. Nope. Oh well, alright. Can't say we didn't try. Let's just keep going. Not trying to stick around for too long. Got a nice dusty visual effect in here. Got a crazy assortment of enemies in here. They look a lot more fearsome than the enemies we were just fighting outside. That was an easy fight. Potion. Cool, a tent. Gold needle. It's interesting how they utilize the adamantoise in various games, because in some games, they make it like an extremely powerful enemy that you don't fight till like the very end of the game. And it has like ridiculous defenses and can do like the stupidest shit. And then there's like some games where they're like, here it is in the middle of like an early game cave, and it's like maybe 2 times as strong as a normal enemy, and they don't do anything special. That's it. Could not tell you where those eyes are located on that guy, though. Alright. We gotta go downstairs before we can come back up from a different location. And that would be where the location is. May cause confusion. That's what it does. Okay, that's actually useful. Like, if it can inflict confusion on something, that's really useful, actually. Like, that's better than silence, because silence, like, if something doesn't use MP, like, it's pointless. But confusion, if an enemy doesn't resist confusion, that can hurt any enemy. What do you agree about? You agree that Edward, a character who runs away if his health is too low in the middle of battle, and then makes you waste a turn to make him come back, he is a good party member. You don't agree? Oh god, you're about to say he's amazing, right? I was like, damn. They're fantastic party. I knew it. I knew it. Yeah, this guy, he's a coward, and if his HP gets too low, he runs away. Also, his harp attacks tend to miss a lot. So he doesn't usually get to contribute much in the way of damage. No effect. Fake. At least he can heal a very small amount. I run away and miss all the time. Like me IRL. Wow. Alright, so we got a chest over here we can grab. And then we just gotta head south. Song of Enticement. Oh shit, they both got confused. Hell yeah. Not that we needed the confusion, but... Edward does have some redeeming qualities, like his harp sing skills are really useful if they land, because you can do some crazy status effects to an entire enemy parties, but yeah. Alright, let's do a quick save. We got a boss fight to do. Or not. I guess we can do this first instead. Oh, and even when he does attack, his damage output is, like, pretty bad. Like, he's already caught up to us in level. Like, he's just bad. Alright. Let's try this again. Actually, hold on. I need to give Rydia... MP. It's funny that the coward would go forward first, and he's like, you know what? Not only am I a coward, I'm also stupid. That is a fugly-ass looking monster. But that is apparently the antlion. He can counter with a bunch of different attacks, so that's cool. I think he just counters physical. He can't counter summons. I wonder if he can counter magic. He doesn't counter the actual, like, attacking party member. He just counters randomly. His counter is also not very strong, so... Okay, he can only counter physical attacks. This is easy. That one wasn't a tough fight. There are some hard boss fights, but the Antlion's not really one of them. Even with Edward. We got the Sand Ruby. Well, we got this emergency exit earlier. Let's use it. Now the question is, do I remember how to get to Kaipo. Well, not Kapoi, Kaipo. I think there's like a really long path. Yeah, there it is. Wasn't as long as I remember it being. Question is, which house is she in? She's in like this one random one that doesn't have... Yeah, there it is. Let's use the bomb ring on her. No, we did not die. And Rosa just kind of knows what's happening immediately. Now, even though she doesn't have sand fever, she's still... Or desert fever. Sand fever. Even though she doesn't have desert fever anymore, she is still not entirely not sick. So, she just like me for real, for real. But we do get to take her with us. Even if she is sick, she still fights. Edward decides to play a little tune. I will say, like, I thought Edward had ulterior motives in this game, because the way that, like, yeah, he says, Anna, I miss you so much, but, like, he has, like, this thing where, like, they cut to him a bunch, and he's one of the few characters they cut to away from Cecil. So I was like, is he plotting shit or no? And no, he's not. He's just, they tried to give him moments. That's what they did. And speaking of moments, we have to fight this thing with just Edward. And Anna's like, don't be such a little bitch, Edward. Fight. I would like to report that even though Anna gives him a pep talk from beyond the grave, it does not change the fact that Edward is still a little bitch for the rest of the game. He does not do the Rydia thing where, like, he has an entire mechanic that, like, changes when he grows as a character, where, like, Rydia gets to learn fire spells afterwards. Nope. I always forget just how, like, much later into the game you have Palom and Porom. Alright, so what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna change the order. So what I need to do is I need to put Cecil here, Edward here, because I want all three of the other guys in the back row. I want Cecil to be the only one in the front row. Here, have holy arrows. Hey, Edward, give me your hat. Rosa gets the hat. Also, give me a ruby ring, too. Thanks. We just jack Edward of his shit to give to everybody else. I guess I'm just, like, making a self-fulfilling prophecy. He can't be a better character if I don't let him have good stuff. But I also don't want him to have good stuff. Alright, we're gonna be ending the stream soon. I didn't want this one to be super long. I've also been at it since we did the Mario Kart Direct as well. So I'm just gonna take us over to where the mountain is. And I think that'll probably be it. Yeah. So that's going to do it. And next time we are going to make our way through the mountain, and a bunch of plot stuff's going to happen, and we're probably going to have a huge party shakeup where, like, there's a bunch of different characters. If you cannot see from file 3, that will all probably happen on the next stream. So we'll be back tomorrow, and you guys all have yourself a good day. If you've been tuning into the VODs, thank you for checking out this stream, this stream series as VODs. By the time this goes out to the VOD viewers, the newest Patreon exclusive will be out, where we ranked our top games from the Clubhouse Games collection on Nintendo Switch. And for live viewers, that's going up later today. So look forward to that if you're a gold tier stooge. And we'll catch you next time. Bye-bye.